Comfortable seat, cross-legged on the shins. You can sit on a block or two and close your eyes. So feeling the breath entering your body through the nose, into the chest, into the lungs, and going into the belly. And exhaling, using abdominal muscles, squeezing the air out of the belly, out of the lungs, through the nose. A little bit warmer air comes out. And keep noticing your breath. Can you fill up your lungs a little bit more and your belly a little bit more? Can you breathe into the lungs? Can you breathe to the sides of the lungs, to the back of your heart? Not just chest up and down. And as you exhale, lifting the low belly in and up. So it's almost like you're using your core, which you are using your core, to make that full exhale. Start constricting the back of the throat, making the sound of ocean. So the breath is becoming audible and it's warming the body from within. Keep breathing. Anytime during the class you catch yourself that you stopped breathing and you're holding the breath, come back to the breath. Bring your mind back onto your mindful breathing. Because using mindful breath and focusing on the breathing, you cannot focus on anything else. All of a sudden the anxiety, the stress, everything outside you falls away. And it's very simple, becomes simple, just you and your breath. And when you're ready, blink your eyes open, roll over the knees, find yourself into all fours, tabletop position. Moving through cat-cow at your own pace. On the inhales, release the belly down, lift the sit bones up, pull the chest forward. On the exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin, tuck the tail, press the mat away from you. And keep moving at your own pace, exaggerating the back bend a little bit more, maybe hanging out in the back bend a little longer. And on the exhales, round the spine. You can also exaggerate this movement as well. As we're trying to warm up the spine, find again the movement. Maybe you've been sitting all day. So it's always nice to regain the space. Lubricate the joints. When you're ready, come back into tabletop position. Straighten the right leg and lift the right heel hip height. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose. Round the spine like your angry cat. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Crunch it in. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Bring the knee closer to the chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale, back up. Last one. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Now bend the knee. The foot is facing the ceiling. Not dropping the belly towards the ground. Engage the core. Lift the low belly in and up. And start pumping the right heel towards the sky. So through the right glute and the right hamstring, lifting the foot towards the sky. Little donkey kicks. And then stay in a neutral position. And maybe you start reaching the left hand towards the right foot. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bend the right foot a little bit more and find the foot, or maybe don't. Just you can be right here. We can grab for the foot and start lifting the foot up, kicking the foot into your palm, opening up the left shoulder. Lower down the right hip towards the ground. And release the foot, release the knee, release the palm down into the ground. Let's do the other side. Straighten the left leg and lift the left heel hip height. Roll the left hip towards the ground. Reach the top of your head towards the top of the room. Inhale here. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, press the mat away from you. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Last one. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Now bend the left knee. Left foot is facing the ceiling. The sole of the foot. Lower down the left hip towards the ground. Engage the core. So keep the spine pretty much in a neutral position. And now lift the left heel towards the sky and lower. Lift and lower. Small pulses. Squeeze the right hip in. And keep lifting the left heel towards the sky. Pulsing it up. Warming up the left hamstring and the left glute. You might notice that your right glute is also a little bit on fire. And come back into the center. Now, so reaching the left foot towards your right glute, or the left glute. And then the right hand maybe is reaching towards the back of your mat. You can stay here. Or maybe you find the foot. If you find the foot, then catch the foot and press the foot into your palm. Opening up your right shoulder. Feeling a little bit more intensity in the left quad and the left hip flexors. Keep kicking the foot into your palm. So now there's a little bit of a back bend happening, but still try to engage the core, protecting the lower back, lengthening the spine rather than crunching. And slowly release. Release the palm, release the knee down into the ground. Walk the hands forward, coming into puppy pose. Release the forehead towards the ground, chest towards the floor. Keep the hips stacked over the knees. If you want deeper stretch, maybe coming onto the fingertips, lifting the elbows off the floor. Keeping some engagement here, so keep rolling the armpits closed. Elbows towards the ground, biceps towards the sky. Slowly release the forearms down into the ground, sliver forward, coming into Sphinx pose. Elbows under the shoulder, shoulder width apart. Press the chest forward, so start dragging the elbows towards the hips, pulling the chest forward, draw the shoulder blades down your back. So instead of hunching, try to broaden through the collarbones. Can you bring your shoulder blades a little bit closer towards each other and closer towards your waist? Press the pubic bone into the floor. Squeeze the glutes, maybe lift the belly button off the floor. So there's that engagement in the core, right? In the back bend. And then lower down. Bring the hands outside your mat, fingertips on the floor, palms off the ground, elbows straight towards the sky. You look like you have spider legs. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lower down, couple more. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lower down. One more. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Press the pubic bone into the floor. Exhale, lower down. Bring the hands under the shoulders, maybe fingertips a little bit in front of the shoulders, maybe like 1 inch. Inhale into cobra, squeeze elbows in, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the heart, pull the chest forward. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. Exhale, lower down. And press yourself into first downward facing dog. Thank goodness. And walk it out. Bend one knee, then the other. Finding space in the backs of the legs. And maybe the lower back is not quite happy. We did just a lot of back bends right off, warming up the lower back. You can just bend one knee, maybe come onto the tippy toes, heels to one side, and then the other. Finding some movement to release the lower back. We can bend one knee and shift the hips to one side, then the other side, wagging the tail to loosen up the lower back. And then you're ready, come onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward, step, or jump quietly and find yourself onto your backs. Ooh, why? Oh yes, it's happening. Bring the hands behind your head, knees over the hips. We're just rolling through very slow yogi bicycles. Right elbow to the left knee, straighten the right leg all the way towards the ground. Pull the belly button towards the floor and switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. And maybe you decide that you want to go a little bit faster. It's a little bit early in the class to go fast. But if this is, you already done some exercise and you feel like you can go faster, go for it. Just bringing more awareness in the core. Lubricating the joints through the movement. Keep your shoulder blades off the ground, space between chin and chest. Keep going. The more you pull the low belly towards the ground, belly button, squeeze, to get air out of the belly, and that way you will get a little bit more stretch in here. Not just stretch, but a little bit more burn. Keep the low back flat on the ground. Keep going. This will never end. Uh-oh. And then bring the left knee to your chest, interlace the fingers below the left knee, pull the knee towards the chest, shoulder blades stay off the ground, and right foot off the floor, and switch. Pull the knee towards the chest, pull the belly button towards the ground. The lower you hover the left heel towards the floor, the better it is for the core. Switch, switch, switch. And switch. If the head is getting tired, maybe you release the head on the floor and then come back. Space between chin and chest. Maybe look towards the sky so it's a little bit less for your neck. Keep going. Pull the knee towards the chest. Ooh, now straighten the legs. Lower the right leg towards the ground, maybe pull the left leg towards you, and maybe you're grabbing onto the hamstring, and maybe behind the knee, somewhere onto the calf or the ankle, and then switch. Say hello to your right hamstring, keep the low back flat on the ground, and switch, and switch, switch, switch. Switch, Switch. Keep breathing into the backs of the legs, into the core. I know, don't give up. We're gonna end this soon, this madness. Don't give up. And release. Bring the knees to chest, sway side to side. When you're ready, so rocking and rolling back and forth, back and forth. Then propel yourself into the chair pose. Or however you want to get into chair pose is perfect. Fix your hair if you need to fix your hair. Spiral the heels to the sides of the mat. Let's start moving. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Knees come down, chest, chin come down. Lift the low belly and the lower back towards the sky, so lifting the tail up. And then slide through. Inhale into cobra, pull the chest forward, stretch out the abs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward, step, or jump quietly between your thumbs. Bend the knees a lot, sit down into the chair, lift the chest up. Maybe a slight back bend here. Engage the low belly, reach the tail towards the ground, but lift the chest a little bit high, maybe even palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank, lower down halfway. Inhale into upward facing dog if you're ready. If this does not feel right, bend the elbows, release the knees onto the floor for cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward, step, or jump quietly between your thumbs. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees to down into the chair. Again, a slight back bend, maybe palms touch. Can you bring the biceps by your ears? Spiral the heels to the sides of the mat. So start engaging the glutes and the hamstrings. Can you reach your tail a bit more towards the floor and lift the low belly in and up. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Go to your vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, upward facing dog or cobra. Pull the belly forward, squeeze the glutes, lift the kneecaps up if you're in the upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come onto the tippy toes, bend your knees, look forward, step, jump, float forward into forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot, sit down into the chair pose. Spiral the heels to the sides of the mat. Sit down a little bit lower. Lift your chest a little bit higher. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Go to your vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Engage the glutes, pull the chest forward. Can you drag the shoulders down your back? Can you spread through the collarbones? Exhale, downward facing dog. Come into the tippy toes, bend the knees, step, jump, float forward into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot, sit down into the chair pose. Release the hands behind your tail, interlace the fingers, lift the chest up. Sit down a little bit lower into your chair pose. So reaching the knuckles off your tail, feeling deeper stretch in the shoulders and the chest. Keep the core engaged here. Can you sit down a little bit lower? Keep the interlacer straightening the legs only when the belly touches the quads. Reach the knuckles towards the sky. Release the top of your head towards the ground. Then release the hands down to the ground. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, hands come down. Step back into the plank. Go through vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Right knee could be on the ground. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. And step it through. Inhale, high lunge. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Press through the ball of your back foot. Lift the back kneecap up. Sink into your hips. Reach the tail actively towards the ground. All right, so the arms are reaching towards the sky now. Inhale here. On the exhale, bend the elbows, come into the field goal. So the elbow shoulder height. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, elbows shoulder height. Palms facing the top of the room. Inhale, reach the hands up. Palms facing towards one another. Exhale, field goals. Inhale, reach up. Keep your hips stable. Exhale, elbows shoulder height. Field goals. Inhale, come up. Exhale, field goals. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, field goals. And release the hands down onto your hips. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Maybe the fingertips walk a little bit closer towards one another on your lower back. So pushing the hips forward, straighten the back leg a little bit more. Reach the tail actively towards the ground. Pinch the shoulder blades onto your back. Lift the chest up. If your legs are burning, and maybe they are, release the back knee onto the floor. Can you lift the chest a little bit higher? Inhale, lift the heart back to the center, reach the hands up. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right foot up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Press the mat away from you and step it through. Feet are about hip width apart. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky, high lunge. Sink into the front knee, straighten the back leg, actively press through the ball of your back foot. Reach the tail towards the ground, engage the core. Try to tuck in the bottom of the rib cage. All right, now bring the elbows into the field goals, like shoulder height. Not like, but it is shoulder height. Inhale here. Exhale, bring the palms and the elbows to touch. Press them into each other. Inhale, back up. Bring the shoulder blades to touching. Open up the chest. On the exhale, bring the elbows and the palms to touch. Inhale, open up the chest. Can you pinch the shoulder blades together? Exhale, bring the palms and the elbows to touch. Press it into one another. Inhale, back up. Pinch the shoulder blades. Open up the chest. Exhale, bring the elbows to touch. Sink into the front knee. Straighten the back leg. Inhale, lift the chest. Open up the chest. Exhale, palms touch. Elbows touch. Inhale, open up the chest. And release the hands down onto the hips. Maybe the thumbs are touching and they're on your lumbar spine. Push the hips down and forward, especially the left hip is reaching more forward and the right hip in. Straighten the back leg. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Lift the chest up. Keep lifting the heart up. Straightening the back leg. If you need to bring the back knee onto the ground, do so. especially if that's what you did on the other side. Maybe you decide to challenge yourself, that's perfect. Inhale, lift the heart back to the center, reach the hands up. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Go through vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left foot up towards the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. If it's too much for your upper body, release the right knee onto the floor. We really want to open up the back of your right leg and also the front of the left hip. So lifting the knee up, squeeze the left heel towards your left glute, opening up the hip a little bit more. Lower down the left shoulder towards the ground. When you're ready, straighten the leg, close the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. And step it through. Inhale, high lunge. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Interlace the fingers and place the pinkies at the base of your skull. Open up the elbows to the sides of the room. If you want to release the back knee onto the ground. Lift the chest up. Reach the tail towards the ground. Reach actively the elbows towards the sides of the room. Sink into the front knee. Straighten the back leg a little bit more. Drawing the left hip back, right hip forward. If it's getting too much for your lower back, reach the heart a little bit more and reach the tail a little bit more to the floor. Keep breathing. Inhale, lift the chest back to the center. Lean forward 45 degrees. Keep your hands behind your head. I know. And now start twisting just from above your belly button. Keep squeezing the left hip in, opening up the chest towards the left side of the room. Elbows still wide. Reach the top of your head forward. Breathing into the belly. Press through the ball of your back foot. Keep squeezing the left hip in so the left glute and the hamstring is warming up. Perfect. And slowly untwist. Release the hands down onto the floor. Step back into the plank. Go through vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot up towards the sky. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Reach actively the left heel towards the ground. Feel the stretch in the left hamstring. Reaching the right knee towards the sky and squeezing the right heel towards your right glute will give you a deeper right quad and right hip flexor stretch. Lower down the right shoulder towards the floor. Equal weight between your palms. Lift the right knee a little bit higher. Get the stretch in the hip flexors. And then straighten the leg. Close the hip. Exhale, knee to nose. Crunch the core. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. And step it through. Press into the front heel. Inhale into high lunge. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Reach the tail right away towards the ground. Straighten the back leg. Interlace the fingers. Place the pinkies at the base of your skull. Open up the elbows to the sides of the room. Don't dump here into the lumbar spine. Reach the tail towards the ground. Tuck in the bottom of the ribcage. Engage the core. Lengthen through the sides of the waist. Lift the chest towards the sky. Maybe recline back into your palms. Keep reaching actively the elbows to the sides of the room. Sink into the front knee. If you need, keep your back knee on the ground. Can you lift the heart a little bit more towards the sky? Can you lengthen through the sides of the waist a little bit more? Can you draw the left hip a little bit more forward and the right hip a little bit to the back? Keep lifting the chest up. Inhale, lift the heart back to the center. Lean forward 45 degrees. Now the key here is to squeeze the right hip in. Don't let the hip move. Start tilting or twisting towards the right side of the room. Elbows still stay wide. Breathing into the belly. Squeezing the right hip in. Straighten the back leg a little bit more. Can you reach your tail towards the left heel and the top of your head forward? So you're finding space in the spine. When you're ready, slowly untwist. Open up the elbows a little bit more. And release the hands down to the earth. Step back into the plank. Go to vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew, that was a good one. Inhale, the left foot up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose, crunch it in. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. And step it through. Inhale, high lunge. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Like, are you done with high lunges yet? Not yet, but pretty close. Maybe. I don't know. Release the hands behind your tail. Interlace the fingers. You can always choose low lunge. Draw the right hip forward, left hip back. Straighten the back leg. Press through ball of your back foot. Lift the chest up and reach the knuckles towards the back of your right knee. Keep lifting the heart up. Can you lengthen through the sides of the waist? A little bit more. Can you reach your tail a little bit more towards the ground? So engage the core. Can you broaden through the collarbones a little bit more? Inhale, lift the heart back to the center. Now grab onto your opposite elbows. We're coming into reverse namaste. Palms touch behind your back. Step the back foot a little bit closer. Both legs are straight. Both sets of toes pretty much looking forward. Inhale here and exhale. Keep leading with your heart forward. Press the left heel into the ground. Drag the heel to the back of your mat. Squaring off your hips. Feeling quite engaged stretch in the left hamstring. Maybe lift the left toes off the ground. Can you reach the heart a little bit more forward? Now here, don't hang here on your lower back. Engage the core. 360 core. Your abs, obliques, lower back muscles. All right, keep reaching the heart forward. Bend the left knee and lift the right foot off the ground. Warrior 3, but not really. It's not warrior 3. It is a swan pose. So bend the left knee, squeeze the left hip in. So lifting the right foot towards the sky, lifting the chest up. Now without using your hands, bend the left knee. Gracefully step the right foot to the back of your mat. Press into the left heel, lift the chest up. Reach the hands towards the sky. Ta-da, high lunge. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Go to your vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right foot up towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back up. Exhale, knee to nose. Press the mat away from you and step it through. Press into the right heel. Lift the chest up, coming into a high lunge. Straighten the back leg right away. Although to reach the tail towards the ground, maybe it's easier to bend the back knee first. Then pressing through while your back foot, keeping your tail reaching towards the floor. So straightening the back knee. Then release the hands behind your tail, interlace the fingers. Pinch the shoulder blades onto your back, open up the chest. Start lengthening through the sides of the waist while still engaging the core. Try to tuck in the bottom of your rib cage. Low belly is in and up. Lift the heart up towards the sky. Keep reaching the tail to the floor. Can you straighten the back leg a little bit more? Can you sink into the front knee a little bit more? Lift the heart towards the sky. Keep lengthening through the sides of the waist. And slowly lift the chest back to the center. Grab onto opposite elbows or reverse namaste. Reverse namaste might be hurting the wrist, so grabbing onto the elbows will actually gonna help us with that swan pose anyway. So now step the back foot a little bit closer. So you have maybe 2 feet between your feet, maybe even less. Bring the right hip back, left hip forward, lift the chest up. Now leading with your heart, lean forward. Keep reaching the heart forward. Look forward. Because that's the shape that we need to do in the swan pose. Now press the right heel into the ground. Actively drag the heel towards the back of the mat. Ooh, FedEx delivery. That's nice. Maybe lift the toes off the ground, feeling the stretch, more engaged stretch in the right hamstring. Keep reaching the heart forward. Keep engaging the core. Don't forget to engage your core. Even when you're breathing fully. When you're ready, bend the right knee. Keep that knee slightly bent. Squeeze the right hip in and lift the left foot off the ground. So keep squeezing the hips, hugging the hips towards one another. Lift the chest up. Start bending the right knee a little bit more while squeezing the right glute. Lift the left foot towards the sky. From the left glute and the left hamstring. There's a string attached to your hamstring and somebody is lifting it up. Lift the chest a little bit higher. Squeeze the right hip in. The booty is burning. Now bend the right knee a little bit more. Step the left foot to the back of your mat. Press into the right heel. Keep squeezing right hip in. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Whoo. Exhale, hands come down. Step back into the plank. Go to your vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walk the hands towards your feet. Or find yourself into standing in the middle of your mat. So we did all this, the back bends, the core, shoulders, and hamstrings, and hip flexors for the dancer. So shift the weight into your left foot. Lift the right foot up. The right hand grabs inside the right foot. Now reach the left hand up towards the sky. And start kicking the foot into your palm, opening up your right shoulder. Lifting the foot towards the sky. Then you start leaning forward. Trying to lower down the right hip towards the ground to the best of your ability, just like Warrior 3 pose. Keep kicking the foot into your palm. That engages the quad and also keeps your hips a little bit more engaged. Keep leaning forward if you have a little bit more. Or maybe start lifting the chest a little bit higher. Keep squeezing the right hip in and the right knee in. Then slowly, with discipline and control, coming out of the pose slowly. Don't fling out of the pose. And release the foot down into the ground. Let's do the other side. We have no time. So shift the weight into your right foot. Lift the left foot off the floor. Now bring the left hand inside the left foot. Reach the right hand up. Keep your hips more or less in line so it's not opening up too much today to the side, not like Bikram dancer. Keeping the hips closed, lifting the foot up towards the sky. Just by having intention of the hips closed will make this pose a little bit better. Lifting the foot towards the sky. Maybe start leaning forward. Can you kick the foot or the ankle a bit more into your left palm? Squeeze the left knee in. Maybe leaning a little bit more towards the top of the mat. Or maybe start lifting the chest a little bit more towards the sky. Can you lower the left hip a little bit more towards the floor? Then slowly, 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 have a discipline and control to come out of this pose. Don't fling out. It does not feel great for the lower back if you fling out. Release the foot and release the hand down towards the ground. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. Ooh, it feels good. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale into flat back. Exhale, hands come down, step back into the plank. Go through your vinyasa, lower down halfway. Inhale into the back bend, pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Come onto the tippy toes, bend the knees, look forward. Step or jump through, find yourself onto your back. I know, we need to integrate the front of the body and mesh the lower back. So here it is, second set of abs. We're like, no, oh yes. Right, cross the right leg over the left. Like eagle legs if you can, spinning the right foot behind the left ankle. And then the arms, the same thing. Bring the right arm underneath the left. Either give yourself a hug, stacking the elbows on top of each other or coming into eagle arms. Also the palms can be and the elbows can be touching like we did through the movements. Keep the knees over the hips and shins parallel to the ground. Inhale, lift your shoulder blades off the ground. Exhale, elbows to the knee, pull belly button to the floor. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knee, crunch. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knee, crunch, pull the belly button down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knee, crunch, squeeze. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knee, crunch. Inhale, back up. Release the head and the shoulders down to the ground. Release the arms. Bring the palms onto your right quad in the middle of the thigh. And keep your knees stable. They're not moving anywhere. There is this tendency to make sway back. So tuck the tail, press the low back into the floor, hands onto the thigh. Press the thighs away from you. Keep the low back flat on the ground. There's no space for even one piece of paper. Keep pressing, Pull belly button down, press, 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 press. And release. You can undo your legs. You don't have to undo your legs. Release the knees to the left side of your mat, coming into spinal twist. The arms into the T or into the field goals, whatever feels best. If you need more of a stretch in the side body, scoot the hips a little bit closer to the right side of the mat, an inch or two. So the spine is a little bit more in the middle of the mat. Breathe into the belly mindfully. Massaging the internal organs with each exhale. You're ready, bring the knees back to the center, undo your legs, bring the knees to chest, sway side to side, just noticing how your lower back is feeling already a little bit better. Let's do the other side. So bring the feet on the floor, cross the left leg over the right. You can just lift the knees up or trying to spin your feet. So hooking or trying, just trying will do the trick. Trying to hook the left foot behind the right ankle or the calf. Keep the shins parallel to the ground and the left knee right over the hips. Now bring the left arm underneath the right, spinning hands like ropes or just giving your shoulders a hug. Lift the elbows off of the chest so you get a little bit deeper stretch behind your heart. Inhale, lift the shoulders off the floor. Exhale, elbows to the knee, but the knee stays stable. Inhale, back up, shoulders stay off the ground. Exhale, elbows to the knee, pull the belly button towards the floor. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knee, squeeze. Inhale, back up. Elbows to the knee, squeeze. Inhale, back up. Exhale, elbows to the knees, squeeze and crunch. Inhale, back up, release the head, release the shoulders and the arms. All right, now the hands onto the left thigh. Press the thighs away from you, but they're staying stable. So there is this tug of war happening. Press them away from you, but keep the low back flat on the ground. Pull the belly button towards the ground. So there is a little bit tuck of the tail up towards the sky. And then press into the thighs. Press. Press. Like you mean it. There is a little bit of shaking happening. You got this. Press. 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 And release. You can undo your legs. Or you don't have to. Release the knees to the right side of the mat. Matching what you did on the other side. Maybe the arms into the field goals or into the T. Maybe you scoot the hips to the left side of the mat. Trying to stack the hips on top of each other. But keep the left shoulder on the ground. So if the hips are not stacking on top of each other, maybe you start bringing the knees away from the right armpit. And start breathing fully into the belly. Massaging the internal organs. Breathing fully and mindfully into the side body. into the twist, into the lower back. Maybe even to the left shoulder if that's where you feel the stretch. And when you're ready, bring the knees back to the center. Give your knees a hug, sway side to side. So let's come into a happy baby now. Bring the soles of the feet towards the sky, knees outside the rib cage, and just sway side to side. Try to keep the entire spine flat on the ground. If you cannot reach your feet, you can grab onto the ankles, the calves, or even behind your knees onto the hamstrings. And it gives you a little bit deeper stretch in the hips, putting more weight. And when you're ready, bring the soles of the feet to touching into butterfly legs, bringing the heels towards your chest, knees outside the rib cage. Then keep the soles of the feet touching. Release the blade edges of your feet onto the floor, into the butterfly legs on your back. If you need a little bit support, you can use the couch cushions on the either side of your knees. One hand onto the belly, one hand onto the heart. To make this pose, instead of more yin and a little bit more engaged flexibility, press the soles of the feet into one another and squeeze the glutes. And then using your inner thigh strength, you can start bringing the knees actively towards the ground. So you can be totally relaxing and more gravity-prone yoga pose. You can be engaged flexibility. And actually, if you just decide to use the gravity, it's all good, but squeeze the glutes to protect the inner thighs. Breathing into the heart, into the hips, into the belly. And then you're ready. If you're using your inner thigh strength or the hands outside your knees, close your legs like a book. Bring the knees to the chest. Give your knees a hug, sway side to side. Woo. Maybe a lot side to side, like falling off your mat. And then bring your knees a hug, bury your nose between your knees, curl up the toes, crunch up your face, tighten every muscle you got, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release, final resting pose. If the lower back is not happy, keep your knees bent, feet mat width apart. If you want even more restorative pose, maybe bring the legs up onto the wall. If you have the bed or the chair next to you, maybe bring the knees onto the couch or onto the chair, or even coffee table will do. And you can totally hang out here in your final resting pose. It's a little bit more restorative for your lower back. If you want the seated meditation, go for it. If you want a regular Savasana, go for it. Close your eyes. Maybe walk your shoulder blades behind your heart, a little bit closer towards one another so you have a little bit more openness in the chest. Palms facing up, receiving the energy after this heart-opening yoga class. Breathe into the body. Relax in each body part, letting go of the tension in the shoulders, letting go of the tension in the core, in the belly. That's where anxiety usually resides, or in the top of the chest. Letting go anything emotional maybe you're carrying in the hips. Relax your facial muscles, your forehead, your scalp. Let your eyeballs sink into the skull. Feel yourself heavy on the earth. At the same time, noticing that buzz, the energy running in your muscles and in your body. It almost feels like you're hovering just above the mat. You're weightless. If you're enjoying your Savasana, please stay there. Maybe mute me or exit this class. If you want to finish off with me, so bringing conscious breaths back into the body. So wiggling your fingers, the toes, swaying your head side to side gently. When you're ready, one knee at a time, bring it to your chest. Give your knees one more tight squeeze. And release the knees to your favorite side, using the bottom bicep as a pillow. And just feel your body. How does it feel? And when you're ready, with the help of the top palm, press yourself up into seated, keeping your eyes closed for just a few more moments. Bring the hands in front of your heart. Tuck the chin towards your chest, bow towards your great self. Thank yourself for showing up today at your mat, doing something good for the body, mind, and spirit. So the body benefits from movement, and the mind benefits from stillness. So after some movement, it's a little bit easier to find that stillness in the mind. And so we keep the mind sometimes busy throughout the class, thinking about the breath, because it doesn't want to be thinking too much about the physical exercise and exertion. So it's always good to occupy with something else. You're still reaping all those benefits, right? And with that, the light in me sees, recognizes, and bows to the light within you. Namaste. Thank you all. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.